What if I told you that wealth isn't something you earn, it's something you unlock? That there are hidden laws of prosperity quietly shaping your life right now, whether you know it or not. Today, I'm here to reveal these invisible forces, the 7 hidden wealth laws no one taught you, and once you understand them, you'll never look at money, success, or abundance the same way again. Your thoughts are the first architects of your reality, especially when it comes to wealth. There is an invisible blueprint being drafted in the realm of your mind every moment of the day. Every thought you think about money, abundance, or scarcity is adding another line, another wall, another door to the house you are unconsciously building. If your mind is flooded with thoughts of lack, struggle, and not enough, then the blueprint of your life will reflect this in the form of limitation, financial obstacles, and continuous hardships. On the other hand, if you consciously choose to plant thoughts of prosperity, ease, sufficiency, and opulence, the very walls of your reality will rise in the shape of abundance. The mind operates on a law more precise than any made by man, the law that like attracts like. What you consistently think about, you attract into your experience. Many have been taught to believe that money is difficult to earn, that it slips through the fingers like water, or that it is reserved only for the clever, the ruthless, or the lucky. But such beliefs are not inherent truths. They are thought patterns, seeds sown into the fertile soil of consciousness that produce accordingly. The soil does not discriminate. Whether you plant weeds of worry or flowers of fortune, it nurtures what you plant with the same diligence. Consider a person who is always thinking, "I never have enough." That thought is not just idle musing. It is a directive sent out to the universe, an instruction to the subconscious mind, which immediately begins arranging circumstances to validate that belief. Bills appear unexpectedly, opportunities elude them, and even when money comes, it seems to vanish just as quickly. They stand in the middle of their experience and lament their bad luck, not realizing that it was their habitual thought that designed this very scenario. The universe is not cruel, it is obedient. Now imagine the person who, despite humble beginnings, holds steadfastly to the thought, "I live in a world of endless supply. Prosperity flows to me from all directions." This is not mere wishful thinking, it is commanding the unseen forces to align with that vision. Such a person begins to notice opportunities others overlook. They carry a presence of confidence that draws allies, mentors, and resources. Their mind, tuned to abundance, sees pathways where others see dead ends. Life conspires to match their inner certainty with outer manifestation. This is the deeper reality. Money is not just paper, nor coins, nor numbers in a bank account. It is energy, and energy responds to the direction given by thought. The one who sees themselves as already rich in mind will find wealth in hand in due time, for the outer world always, without exception, reflects the inner world. The challenge, then, is not to chase money, but to cultivate the thought patterns that invite wealth to chase you. Yet many people sabotage their financial well-being by entertaining double-mindedness. They may affirm wealth one moment and then lament lack the next. Such contradictions confuse the creative forces of the mind. To manifest wealth, your thoughts must be consistent, unwavering, like a river flowing powerfully in one direction. You must declare mentally and emotionally that you are prosperous, even if the current evidence suggests otherwise. This is not delusion, it is creation, for every great fortune that has ever been made began as a thought in someone's mind. A thought that was nurtured, repeated, and believed before it ever took material form. The mind not only attracts wealth, but also determines your capacity to hold it. Many who win sudden riches lose them because their habitual thoughts are still steeped in lack and unworthiness. The mind, uncomfortable with abundance, finds unconscious ways to expel it, to return to the familiar state of struggle. But one who consistently thinks rich will naturally adjust their behavior, their self-image, and their decisions to maintain and grow wealth when it arrives. Thus, the cultivation of rich thoughts is not a momentary act but a disciplined practice. It is an intentional guarding of the mental gates, allowing only ideas that affirm wealth, possibility, and sufficiency. As these thoughts take root, they create a magnetic field around you, subtly yet surely drawing circumstances, people, and events that mirror your inner wealth. You become a living beacon of prosperity, and wealth in all its forms becomes inevitable. Words are not mere sounds that vanish into the air. They are vibrational forces, creative commands that shape the unseen and direct the visible. Every word you speak carries an energy that is either building your wealth or quietly dismantling it. Most people underestimate the weight of their own words, treating them as casual expressions, jokes, or idle complaints. Yet the universe hears every utterance as an instruction. When you speak of wealth, prosperity, and financial ease, you are setting a powerful creative process into motion. When you speak of lack, hardship, and debt, you are equally commanding the forces around you to make those conditions your reality. The power of the spoken word is ancient and precise. In every sacred text, the act of speaking is tied to the act of creation. It is said that life and death are in the power of the tongue, and nothing could be truer when it comes to wealth. Your words act as affirmations, whether you intend them to or not, and they declare your beliefs not just to others but to yourself and to the universe. Every time you say, "I can't afford that," or "money doesn't grow on trees," or "I'm always broke," you are planting seeds of scarcity into the soil of your experience. The soil, ever fertile, does not judge your declarations, it simply grows what you plant. On the other hand, when you speak affirmations like "I am surrounded by abundance," or "money flows to me in expected and unexpected ways," you are programming your consciousness to expect prosperity. These declarations begin to rewire your mental patterns, adjusting your perception so that you recognize opportunities and solutions instead of obstacles and limitations. The spoken word carries not only intent but also vibration. When you speak with conviction, feeling, and certainty, the vibration of your words resonates within your body, your mind, and your environment, aligning everything to bring forth that which you have declared. It is important to understand that your words are the bridge between thought and form. A thought unspoken is potent, but a thought spoken is catalytic. It propels the invisible into motion, giving it the substance necessary to materialize. If you constantly narrate your struggles, even in jest, you reinforce them. The universe does not distinguish between jokes and seriousness. It only responds to the energy and belief behind your words. Therefore, idle comments like "I'm terrible with money" or "I'll never be rich" are more dangerous than they seem, because they subtly affirm a state of lack and create an identity around financial struggle. Consider those who habitually speak wealth into their lives. Their words reflect confidence, possibility, and openness. They say things like, "There is more than enough," "I am a money magnet," or "Wealth is my natural state." Over time, these words reshape not only their mindset, but also their environment. People who speak abundance invite the same energy from others. Their language opens doors. For when you speak as though wealth is natural to you, others perceive you as worthy, capable, and trustworthy, qualities that attract opportunities and resources. The words you speak to others about money influence your reality just as much as the words you say to yourself. Speaking blessings over others' financial success, rather than envy or criticism, reflects a consciousness of abundance. When you celebrate others' prosperity with your words, you align yourself with the same frequency. Conversely, when you speak negatively of others' wealth, calling it unfair, undeserved, or corrupt, you tether your own wealth consciousness to resentment and scarcity. This is why it is essential to establish a daily practice of speaking positively about your financial state, even if it has not yet caught up with your vision. Affirmations spoken consistently and confidently reprogram the subconscious mind and send out a clear signal to the universe about what you desire and what you expect. The clarity of your speech creates clarity in your path. Statements like, "I am open to receiving wealth," "I have everything I need to prosper," and "every day, in every way, I am becoming richer," act as gentle but firm commands, setting the tone for your interactions, decisions, and experiences. Your words create a vibration that either attracts or repels wealth. They reveal the blueprint of your inner beliefs, and when spoken with authority, they shape your financial destiny. To speak prosperity is to sow prosperity. By mastering your language, you master your wealth, ensuring that every word is a stepping stone toward the abundant life you were meant to live. Expectation is the unseen force that quietly steers the direction of your life, especially when it comes to wealth. What you expect, whether consciously or unconsciously, shapes the experiences that show up at your door. Most people expect just enough to get by. Some expect struggle, and very few expect wealth to flow to them freely and continuously. Yet expectation is not merely wishful thinking or a passive hope, it is an energetic magnet, a vibrational stance that calls forth the very conditions you are prepared to receive. The universe mirrors your level of expectancy, Not your desires, not your dreams, but your deep-seated belief about what is likely to happen for you. You may desire great wealth, but if you expect struggle, delays, or disappointment, then that is what life will hand you. The power of expectation is not always loud or visible. It hums quietly in the background of your mind, subtly influencing your decisions, actions, and even your posture toward opportunities. A person who expects good fortune walks differently, speaks differently, and responds to setbacks with calm assurance rather than panic. That unshakable certainty becomes an invisible signal to the world that says, "I am ready and open for wealth." Expectation also has a curious way of shaping your perception. When you expect abundance, you begin to notice resources, connections, and possibilities that others miss entirely. It is not that these opportunities were absent before, rather, your inner lens was clouded by doubt and limitation, rendering you blind to them. Expectation clears the fog and sharpens your vision. You suddenly see the potential in a conversation, the opening in a crowded market, or the inspiration in a seemingly mundane idea. That's because your mind, aligned with expectancy, is primed to detect anything that matches your dominant belief. Conversely, a person who expects misfortune will overlook blessings, dismiss golden chances, and unconsciously sabotage opportunities that could lead to wealth. This is not because they are unlucky, but because their expectation filters their experience. They have trained their mind to anticipate lack, so their reality conforms to that script. It is a self-fulfilling prophecy played out not by fate, but by the steady, persistent focus of expectation. Furthermore, the energy of expectation interacts directly with the laws of the universe. Expectation is a form of faith, and faith has creative power. When you expect wealth, you are placing a confident demand on the unseen supply that already exists. You are not begging or pleading. You are standing in the assurance that what you need, want, and deserve is on its way. This assurance sets things in motion, aligning people, situations, and timing to fulfill your command. It is as if the universe, sensing your readiness, begins orchestrating events to deliver what you are prepared to handle. Expectation also governs your emotional state. When you expect prosperity, you naturally cultivate a sense of excitement, hope, and gratitude in advance. These emotions are not only pleasant to feel, but are themselves magnetic. They draw more of the same energy to you. On the other hand, when you expect disappointment, anxiety and fear become your companions, repelling the very blessings you claim to desire. Another remarkable aspect of expectation is that it influences not only what comes to you, but how long it stays. Many people receive temporary bursts of wealth or opportunity, but lose it quickly because their expectation of permanence was weak. Deep down, they believed it was a fluke, a temporary stroke of luck, or something they did not truly deserve. The universe obliged by making their good fortune fleeting, but the one who expects sustained wealth, who sees abundance as their rightful state, builds a foundation that wealth can rest upon. Their inner expectancy becomes a container strong enough to hold and grow prosperity. Expectation is not about arrogance or entitlement, it is about alignment. It is the quiet inner knowing that says, "Of course I am blessed. Of course wealth is drawn to me. Of course I succeed." This state of mind does not demand proof first, it knows first, and the proof arrives as a natural consequence. Every day offers you a choice of what you expect from life. If you rise each morning expecting favor, opportunities, and abundance, you will find that the world reflects that back to you. If you wake expecting hardship and scarcity, then life will confirm your worst assumptions. The decision is always yours, and the power lies within you. When you align your expectation with abundance, you tap into a law that cannot be broken. What you expect with certainty must inevitably appear. Wealth, in its truest essence, is a current, a flowing, circulating energy that mirrors the natural rhythms of the universe. Just as rivers flow, tides rise and fall, and the seasons transition without resistance, so too must wealth be allowed to move freely in and out of our lives. The law of giving and circulation is an ancient truth that many observe unconsciously, while others unknowingly violate it and find themselves trapped in cycles of scarcity and stagnation. Money is meant to move. It was never designed to be clutched with tight fists or hoarded out of fear. When money flows freely from you, with joy and generosity, it returns to you multiplied, carrying with it the momentum of that which was freely given. Many live with a clenched mentality when it comes to money. They hold on to every coin with the belief that if they give, they lose. This mindset is rooted in fear, the fear that there will not be enough, that what is given will never come back, or that their security lies in what they can tightly control. Yet the universe does not operate on the principle of restriction. It thrives on expansion. What you release with trust and a willing heart sets in motion an energetic loop that guarantees a return. It is not merely the physical act of giving that matters, but the spirit in which it is given. Giving with resentment, obligation, or fear disrupts the flow. But giving with joy, gratitude, and confidence plants seeds that grow into an abundant harvest. When you give, you send a powerful message to the universe that you trust in its supply. You are saying, "I live in a world of more than enough. I am not diminished by sharing. I am expanded." This is not limited to financial giving alone. Giving can take the form of time, energy, knowledge, encouragement, and service. Whatever you give sincerely and joyfully enriches both the receiver and the giver. There is a subtle alchemy in giving. It transforms the giver into a vessel through which abundance flows. The more you give, the more space you create within yourself to receive. It is also important to understand that circulation is not just about the outward act of giving, but also about the willingness to receive. Some people find it easy to give, but difficult to accept gifts, compliments, help, or money. This resistance to receiving blocks the cycle just as surely as hoarding does. If wealth is to circulate, there must be an openness both to release and to receive. When someone offers you a gift or assistance, receive it graciously, knowing that by doing so you keep the current of prosperity alive. In nature, stagnation is a sign of decay. Water that does not move becomes stagnant and breeds disease. Similarly, money that is hoarded out of fear rather than managed with wisdom and generosity breeds anxiety, scarcity, and even loss. The energy of money thrives on motion, and when you participate willingly in its movement, you align with the natural law of circulation. Think of every dollar you spend, invest, or give as a seed sent out into the world. When planted in fertile ground, such as meaningful causes, helpful services, or thoughtful investments, these seeds return to you, not as single dollars, but as multiplied prosperity, often in forms and avenues you could not have predicted. The law of circulation teaches that what you give does not always return from the same source you gave it to. You may help someone in need, and the return might come through a job offer, a financial windfall, or an unexpected opportunity from an entirely different direction. The universe keeps the books balanced, but it does not always settle accounts in a straight line. Trusting this principle requires faith, the kind of faith that knows that every good you release is setting a wave in motion that will circle back, even if the route it takes is mysterious. Generosity also expands your self-image. When you give, you are affirming that you have enough, that you are enough, and that there is always more on the way. This state of mind is attractive to wealth because it aligns with the expansive nature of the universe itself. Scarcity shrinks, but generosity enlarges. The generous person walks through life with an open hand and an open heart, and these very qualities magnetize abundance. Practicing the law of giving and circulation does not require grand gestures. Even small, consistent acts of giving, a kind word, a helpful suggestion, a charitable contribution, keep the channels of abundance open. The key is to give from a place of fullness, to circulate wealth as naturally as the body circulates blood. What flows, lives. What stagnates, dies. And when you become the conduit through which wealth flows, the universe ensures that your supply is never exhausted, but ever renewing, ever expanding, and ever increasing. There is a sacred order to the unfolding of life, a hidden rhythm that governs all things, including the arrival of wealth. This is the principle of divine timing. Just as the sun rises at its appointed hour and the flowers bloom in their proper season, so too does prosperity manifest precisely when the soul is prepared to receive it. Wealth is not denied, it is simply waiting for the right alignment, the perfect readiness within you, and the appointed moment in which its arrival will serve your highest good. The human tendency, however, is to grow impatient, to demand results on a schedule dictated by personal desires, unaware that the universe operates on a wisdom far beyond human understanding. Impatience is often born from a sense of lack and fear. People feel they must have money now, success now, riches now, or else they will fall behind, be left out, or suffer needlessly. But what is missed in this anxious rush is the fact that everything unfolds in divine order. If a farmer planted seeds today and demanded a harvest tomorrow, it would seem absurd, for nature does not respond to human urgency. The seed must germinate, take root, sprout, grow, and mature before it can bear fruit. The same principle governs the manifestation of wealth. The moment you plant the seeds of prosperity through thought, word, and action, the process of growth begins, unseen though it may be. Yet many abandon their vision halfway, frustrated by the apparent lack of progress. They dig up the soil, looking for signs, unaware that impatience uproots the very seeds they have sown. Faith in divine timing is essential. It is the quiet confidence that knows what is yours will come, not a moment too soon, not a moment too late. When you understand this, you cease striving anxiously and begin to align your actions with trust and preparation. You prepare yourself mentally, emotionally, and practically for the wealth you have claimed, knowing that your readiness hastens its arrival. There are countless instances where sudden wealth has led to ruin because the recipient was not prepared to handle it. Lottery winners who lose everything within a few years are a testament to this truth. Wealth received out of season, before the soul is mature enough to steward it wisely, often leads to waste, loss, or misery. The universe, in its perfect intelligence, withholds until you are capable of holding. What may seem like delay is often protection, ensuring that when wealth arrives, you are equipped not only to possess it, but to sustain and grow it. Divine timing also works through connections and circumstances that are beyond your immediate perception. There are people you are destined to meet, opportunities that are being prepared, and lessons you must learn before the doors of abundance swing open. Every experience you encounter, even those that seem unrelated to money, is part of this preparation. Perhaps you are learning patience, discipline, gratitude, or humility, qualities that will be indispensable when your wealth manifests. The universe arranges all these elements in a sequence that, when completed, creates the perfect opening for your prosperity to flow. To trust divine timing is to relax into the flow of life, maintaining your vision without desperation. It is to act diligently, speak affirmatively, and think abundantly while surrendering the when to a higher wisdom. This does not mean passive waiting or inaction. It means active trust, continuing to prepare, continuing to give, continuing to speak wealth, knowing that the appointed time will arrive. Imagine standing on a train platform, knowing that the train is scheduled, even if it is not yet visible on the horizon. You do not leave the platform in frustration. You wait with assurance because the schedule is already set. Divine timing teaches patience, which is itself a form of strength. In a world obsessed with instant gratification, patience becomes a rare and powerful asset. It keeps your mind clear, your heart steady, and your energy focused. When you are patient, you remain aligned with your goal, without the emotional turbulence that impatience brings. This steady vibration ensures that when your wealth appears, it finds you ready, grounded, and fully capable of embracing it. The beauty of divine timing is that it also accounts for the ripple effects of your wealth. When you receive prosperity at the right moment, it benefits not just you but everyone connected to you. The right ideas, partners, and opportunities arrive in sync, creating a harmonious expansion that sustains itself. Trusting this timing is an act of surrender to the intelligence that governs all life, an acknowledgement that your wealth is not lost, forgotten, or denied, but simply scheduled. The divine clock is never wrong, and when the appointed hour strikes, nothing and no one can prevent the arrival of your abundance. Resistance is one of the most subtle yet powerful forces that can block the flow of wealth into your life. It often disguises itself as frustration, anger, anxiety, or the need to control outcomes. But beneath these emotions lies a deeper truth. When you resist any condition, whether it is lack, debt, or slow progress, you are binding yourself to it. The more you struggle against a situation, the more you energize it. In the realm of wealth, the principle is clear. What you resist persists. The universe does not respond to your dislike of a condition. It responds to the energy and attention you give it. Therefore, when you focus on the absence of money with resistance, you are keeping your attention fixed on lack, and lack becomes the dominant vibration in your life. Non-resistance, however, is not the same as passivity or surrendering to defeat. It is an act of powerful alignment. It is choosing to acknowledge a condition without allowing it to dictate your emotional state or your sense of identity. When you practice non-resistance, you are no longer fighting what is. Instead, you redirect your focus to what can be, what is desired, and what is possible. You allow the present circumstances to exist without clinging to them energetically, thereby freeing yourself to move into a new vibration where wealth can flow more easily. Imagine a river flowing smoothly downstream. When a large rock is placed in the middle of the current, the water does not argue with the rock or attempt to force it out of the way. Instead, the water flows around it effortlessly, continuing its journey without disruption. This is the essence of non-resistance. When obstacles arise in your financial life, non-resistance means flowing around them, remaining calm, maintaining your focus on abundance, and trusting that the current of prosperity will carry you beyond any temporary blockages. Many people unknowingly resist their current financial state by constantly speaking negatively about it. They say things like, "I'm so tired of being broke," or "Why can't I ever get ahead?" These declarations, charged with frustration, only reinforce the very condition they want to escape. Non-resistance instead would have them acknowledge the situation without complaint and affirm, "This is temporary. Greater wealth is on its way to me now." Such a shift in language is not just superficial, it transforms the energy you emit, which in turn transforms the experiences you attract. Another form of resistance occurs when individuals attach too tightly to a specific outcome or timeline. They might say, "If I don't make this much money by this date, I'll be ruined." This rigidity creates tension and blocks the natural flow of wealth. The universe is infinitely intelligent and often has better, faster, or more creative ways to deliver your prosperity than you can imagine. But when you insist that it must happen a certain way, you limit the possibilities. Non-resistance opens the door to unexpected channels, allowing wealth to come from sources you may never have anticipated. Fear is another manifestation of resistance. Fear of losing money, fear of making wrong decisions, or fear of not being good enough to handle wealth. All of these create energetic walls that wealth cannot penetrate. The non-resistant mind, however, replaces fear with faith, knowing that all things are unfolding in perfect order. This mindset does not deny challenges, but meets them with a sense of peace and certainty that they are being resolved, even if the evidence has not yet appeared. Practicing non-resistance also requires letting go of the need to compare yourself to others. Comparison breeds envy, resentment, and self-judgment, all forms of resistance that choke the flow of abundance. When you are focused on what others have that you do not, you send a message to the universe that you are not satisfied, that you are disconnected from your own path to wealth. Non-resistance embraces the journey as unique and perfectly timed. It celebrates others' success as evidence that abundance is everywhere and available to all. To master non-resistance is to become fluid, adaptable, and open. It is to meet each moment with acceptance and optimism, knowing that nothing can truly obstruct what is divinely yours. You are not in battle with your financial circumstances, you are in partnership with the universe, which is always guiding you toward greater prosperity. By releasing resistance, you clear the way for that guidance to reach you, for opportunities to reveal themselves, and for wealth to flow with ease and grace into your experience. There exists a perfect design for every individual's life, a blueprint crafted by the infinite intelligence that governs the universe. Within this divine design is the wealth, success, and abundance that is uniquely meant for you. It is not a vague possibility, but a certainty, already written into the fabric of your existence. The challenge lies not in creating this wealth from nothing, but in aligning yourself with the design that has always been yours. Many people live their lives disconnected from this truth, believing that prosperity is reserved for the few, the lucky, or the exceptionally talented. Yet the reality is that abundance is a birthright, encoded within the unique path and purpose you were meant to fulfill. When you accept that there is a perfect design, you also accept that what is meant for you cannot be taken by another. No person, circumstance, or condition can obstruct what is divinely yours. This understanding frees you from the toxic emotions of envy, competition, and desperation. Instead of scrambling to outpace others or worrying that opportunities are scarce, you begin to move with calm confidence, knowing that your wealth is assured because it is part of your life's sacred architecture. The timing, form, and manner of its arrival may be beyond your current understanding, but the certainty of its presence is unwavering. This perfect design operates with precision and purpose. It accounts not only for your desires but for your growth, your lessons, and your evolution. Often people mistake delays or detours as denials, but within the divine blueprint, there is no such thing as denial, only preparation and alignment. If you have not yet seen the wealth you envision, it may be because the structure within you, the beliefs, habits, and perceptions are still being shaped to support it. A skyscraper cannot be built on a shaky foundation, and the universe in its wisdom ensures that you are prepared to sustain the wealth that is coming. Living in alignment with the perfect design requires trust and attentiveness. Trust that the path unfolding before you is the correct one, even if it seems winding or uncertain. Attentiveness means listening to the inner guidance that often speaks in whispers, the intuitive nudges, the inspired ideas, the quiet sense of knowing when to act and when to wait. When you ignore this guidance, you may feel lost or disconnected from your abundance, but when you heed it, you find that each step leads you closer to the manifestation of your prosperity. The divine design also teaches that your wealth is not an isolated treasure for personal gain alone. It is part of a larger tapestry that connects you to others. The wealth meant for you often comes through avenues that allow you to serve, uplift, and contribute to the well-being of others. Prosperity flows most freely to those who understand that their abundance benefits the whole. When you align with this principle, you position yourself not only as a receiver of wealth, but as a channel through which abundance circulates, enriching lives far beyond your own. Another remarkable aspect of the perfect design is that it honors your uniqueness. No two individuals have the same path to wealth because no two souls are alike. The way abundance comes to you may be entirely different from how it comes to someone else, and that is by design, not accident. This is why imitation rarely leads to true prosperity. Trying to copy another's formula for success without regard for your own gifts and calling often leads to frustration. But when you embrace your distinct path, guided by your passions, talents, and interests, you align effortlessly with the prosperity that was crafted just for you. To live according to this design, you must release the need to control every outcome. Control is born from fear, the fear that if you do not manage every detail, things will go wrong. But in truth, the design is already complete. Your role is to follow the guidance provided and to move in faith. This does not mean passivity. It means engaging with life actively, but without the anxiety that comes from distrust. Each day becomes an act of co-creation, where you do your part and the universe does its. Affirming that your life follows a perfect design instills a deep sense of peace. It quiets the restless mind that wonders when or how wealth will appear. You begin to understand that everything is unfolding in divine order, and nothing is missing or delayed beyond its rightful time. This assurance allows you to remain patient yet expectant, diligent yet relaxed, knowing that the masterpiece of your life is being revealed piece by piece. Every experience, every challenge, every triumph is a stroke of the brush on the canvas of your destiny, painting a picture of abundance that is as inevitable as the sunrise. Faith is the first and most vital currency of abundance. Before a single coin appears in your hand, before any bank balance rises or any door of opportunity opens, there must first be the inner conviction that you are worthy, ready, and fully capable of receiving wealth. Faith is the unseen force that precedes all visible manifestations. It is the unwavering belief in what is not yet visible but is nonetheless real and destined. Without faith, wealth remains a distant dream, a wish suspended in the air with no ground to take root. But with faith, you issue a command to the universe, declaring with certainty that your abundance is on its way, that it is not just possible, but inevitable. To claim wealth by faith is to step into the energy of having already received, even when your physical senses tell you otherwise. It is the practice of seeing with the inner eye, the eye of imagination and conviction, rather than with the outer eye, that only registers what already exists. Wealth begins in the unseen, in the domain of thoughts, feelings, and beliefs. Faith acts as the bridge between this invisible realm and the tangible reality you seek to create. It tells the universe, I trust the process, I trust the timing, I trust that my desires are heard and are being fulfilled. Many people operate from a state of conditional belief. They say they will believe in their wealth when they see signs of it appearing. But this is not faith, it is observation. Faith does not wait for evidence. Faith itself is the evidence. It is the assurance that because you have spoken it, envisioned it, and believed it, wealth is already moving toward you. This mindset alters your entire being. It shifts how you think, how you speak, how you walk, and how you show up in the world. When you carry the energy of someone who knows that abundance is their reality, the universe responds accordingly. Faith also reshapes your responses to challenges. Without faith, an obstacle appears as proof that wealth is impossible, or that you are not destined to be prosperous. But with faith, every obstacle is understood to be a stepping stone, a necessary part of the journey that shapes you into the person capable of handling great wealth. Faith transforms delays into periods of preparation. It turns apparent failures into lessons that fortify your character and sharpen your vision. This inner knowing keeps you anchored when others around you might give up or be swayed by fear and doubt. When you claim wealth by faith, you activate the creative power of your mind. You begin to speak differently, using affirmations that reflect abundance rather than lack. You might declare, "I am wealthy beyond measure," or "prosperity is drawn to me effortlessly," even if in the moment your circumstances suggest otherwise. Each word becomes a seed planted in the fertile ground of faith, spoken with conviction and consistency. These affirmations shape your subconscious mind, which in turn influences your actions, decisions, and perceptions. Faith demands that you act as if your wealth is already assured. This does not mean reckless spending or pretending to have what you do not. Rather, it means making decisions from a mindset of abundance rather than scarcity. It means investing in your growth, seeking opportunities, and surrounding yourself with environments and people that reflect the wealth you claim. When you act in alignment with the belief that you are destined for abundance, you send a powerful signal to the universe that you are ready to receive. There is also a magnetic quality to faith. People are naturally drawn to those who exude confidence and certainty. When you hold steadfastly to your faith in your wealth, you attract allies, mentors, clients, and partners who resonate with that energy. Opportunities seem to arise as if by magic, but in truth, they are the inevitable consequence of a mind that refuses to entertain the possibility of lack. Faith makes you a magnet for prosperity because it aligns your internal vibration with the frequency of abundance. Faith requires persistence. It is not a one-time declaration but a daily practice. Each day you must recommit to the vision of wealth you have claimed, regardless of what appears before you. You must reaffirm that the universe is working in your favor, orchestrating people, circumstances, and resources to bring your desires into form. This persistence in faith builds an unshakable foundation that cannot be moved by temporary setbacks or external opinions. Claiming your wealth by faith is a declaration of partnership with the universe. It is standing in your rightful place as a co-creator of your reality. It is saying, with absolute certainty, "I am wealthy because I have claimed it, believed it, and continue to live in the truth of it." Faith precedes form, and when you stand firm in that faith, the wealth you seek must and will materialize, drawn irresistibly by the power of your belief. Wealth is not something to be chased, begged for, or stumbled upon by chance. It is something to be claimed, spoken, expected, given, trusted in, flowed with, and ultimately received by faith. These hidden wealth laws are not just principles, they are the very fabric of abundance itself. When you think prosperity, speak it boldly, expect it unwaveringly, give generously, trust the divine timing, release resistance, align with your perfect design, and claim it with faith, then wealth becomes inevitable. Remember, the universe responds not to your need but to your conviction. So stand firm in the truth that abundance is your birthright, and with every thought, word, and action declare to life itself, "I am ready, I am worthy, I am wealthy," and so it is. And so it is.